Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us on the Friday AM edition of Newsfeed. Let's take you straight to the Piet Retief Magistrates Court, which is hearing the bail application of 8 men accused of killing 2 farm dwellers at the Bampoen farm in Mkhondo, Mpumalanga. The victims, Sfiso Twala and Musanene, allegedly died at the hands of farmers who accused them of stealing their sheep. For more on this, I'm joined by Mweli Masilela. Mweli, very good morning to you. You've been following this case very closely. Bring us up to speed with some of the developments inside the court.
I can tell you now that the court session has just resumed after a 15-minute break, but what we know at this moment is that the investigating officer on this case, that is Vugile Nhlapo, is still continuing to give evidence in court, and mainly the evidence that is given in court comes from a statement that was given by one of the victims who survived during that unfortunate incident whereby 2 farm dwellers died. That is Sfiso Twala and also Musanene. Basically, from the evidence that is delivered in court by the investigating officer, we have heard that one of the victims, which is Christopher Twala, who survived, is actually even fearing for his life. Now he had to leave Piet Retief for Johannesburg after he was discharged from hospital. We're told also about the injuries that the victims, that is the 3, both the deceased and one, which is Christopher Twala, who survived, the extent of the injuries that they sustained and how they were actually assaulted. We also heard in court some harrowing evidence, especially at the time when the investigating officer actually told the court that at some point some of the accused here allegedly used some pliers to pull the private parts of the victims after their clothes were pulled so that they can be naked. But for more on what has happened in court, I'm joined by Sfiso Twala's sister here, Mpumalanga Twala, who joined the court proceedings today. Mrs. Mpumalanga, if you can tell us, you're also in court today. What do you make of the evidence that was delivered, especially on the side of the investigating officer?
It was very, very difficult listening to the evidence from the witnesses, especially the crucifying assault that my brother went through. I couldn't hold my tears. It took me back. I was trying to compose myself, but every second, I was taken back to the incident because everything was playing in my mind as if I was there. Especially when they were pulled with pliers and the incident where their foot was put on top of a stone, and then they took another stone to hit the foot. It's very terrifying, but what can you say? We hope that the justice will prevail at the end.
I saw you broke down in court, especially when they were talking about what happened. But now tell us about your other brother, Christopher, who survived. We are told that he actually even had to leave his job. He's not working anymore. He's on the streets of Johannesburg. Can you shed some light in as far as how has this incident in particular affected him?
He's going through a very difficult time. He's still going through counseling because every now and then, the episodes will come back. He'll struggle to sleep at night. He'll wake up at night, struggling to fall asleep. So also he lost his source of income because he cannot go back to the community because we fear for his life. So he lost everything. On top of that, he has 2 kids, and he just recently got engaged, and now, he doesn't have any source of income to look out for his family. So, yeah.
And then the injuries, how is he coping? Because we're told that some of the victims even had their kidneys damaged. If you can tell us about his injuries, and as we are saying that he's receiving counseling, is he now recovering from those injuries?
He is trying, he is getting there, he still attends hospital every now and then for checkups, especially he's struggling with his kidneys. He was advised that he needs to drink plenty, a lot of water because his kidneys were affected a lot during the incident.
All right, thank you very much for talking to us. We'll talk later after the court. That is Mpumalanga Twala, the sister to Sfiso Twala, who is one of the deceased, and also Christopher Twala. That is the man that survived in that incident. And she is actually saying that he is now struggling in terms of his health and also losing his job. So we'll continue listening in court in terms of what transpires as the investigating officer on this case continues to deliver his evidence. Paul.